Sheena Bora murder case is again in limelight. A few days after, in fact, almost a month after, it was mentioned in a special CBI court that the skeletal remains of Sheena Bora were not to be found. A mail that was received, particularly in the CBI court, has now added another twist to this whole case. In fact, the special CBI court received a mail which said that these very skeletal remains were in the possession of the forensic expert who had done the examination, and over a point of time, this very forensic expert had amassed huge amount of wealth. This was something that was received in the court of SP Nayak Nimbalkar, who is a special CBI judge who is before whom the hearing of this case is on. This very mail was mentioned by the judge before the prosecution lawyer as well. However, to which the prosecution lawyer said that that was not the case. Court has also asked CBI to particularly investigate this very mail and these allegations that have come to forth. In fact, this entire incident comes back to when on April 24th, it was mentioned by CBI that the skeletal remains of Sheena Bora are not to be found. This was again retweeted on June 10th, which is where there were huge questions that were asked, particularly before the CBI, saying that this was a key piece of evidence that they should have preserved, that how is it that they've gone missing. In this very case, again, the hearing was held on Wednesday, wherein the CBI prosecution lawyer has mentioned that that was not the case. After having found out, after having investigated, they found out that these very skeletal remains were present in the Malkhana, which means the storeroom of the CBI office in Delhi. However, the CBI court has mentioned that CBI will have to investigate and find out how did the prosecution, how did this very mail come in before the court, where it's mentioned that that the forensic expert had the skeletal remains. However, after this entire hearing, cross-questioning of the forensic expert continued. In the previous hearing, when the court was cross-examining this very forensic expert, who had in fact conducted the examination of forensic report of the skeletal remains which were found in Raigad, this very information had come to forth that the skeletal remains are not to be found. In fact, on this very entire instance, even Indrani Mukherjee, who was one of the prime accused in this case, her statement was taken yesterday. She mentioned that that skeletal remains found in 2012 is a concocted fact. There were no skeletal remains which were to be found. She's also gone further and said that in this case, the boyfriend of Sheena Bora should be questioned because he was the one who last saw Sheena before she went missing. This entire case that we speak of had come to light in 2015. In fact, it was alleged that Sheena Bora was killed. Her body was in fact dumped in a forest at Raigad, but the entire case came to light in 2015. Only 3 years later, in which there were several arrests that were made, including that of Indrani Mukherjee. It was mentioned that Sheena Bora was a daughter of Indrani Mukherjee from a previous relationship. Apart from that, when you speak of this very case, apart from Indrani Mukherjee, her husband and the driver Shyamvar Rai were also arrested in this case. However, all of them are now out on bail. Shyamvar Rai has become a key witness in this case, following which even Indrani Mukherjee was granted bail by Supreme Court just last year. However, all of these allegations that come to forth raise questions on the credibility of CBI and the aspect that some of the key evidences which have gone missing. But when you speak of the CBI and its investigation, the lawyer, in this case the prosecution lawyer, has said that they would want to go further without mentioning these skeletal remains as evidence in this case, particularly because they were not mentioned in the charge sheet.